There are many leaders who are loud and yet they are not heard. Some are quiet and they are seldom heard. There are also leaders who are designated but they are struggling to lead. There are also many people who wants to lead but they are not prepared. In this context, we have here Mr. Sudhakar Prabhu, who is a director of Tpmc and the one who facilitates leadership workshops. Welcome, Mr. Sudhakar Prabhu. It's really nice to have you here.
Thank you.
Let me start by asking you what leadership means to you.
To me, leadership means influence. It means getting things done. My concern is not about anything else, but I'm concerned with what is that influence is for and how that influence happens and what is the experience of the people who are part of that influence. If there is a leadership, it should enable people to come together and make things happen. If that doesn't happen, then there is no leadership for me.
We are living in challenging times, so why leadership is important today?
Leadership skills, you have a very different kinds of people in your organization. Look at the new kind of people coming into the workforce. They are ambitious, energetic, opinionated, and have a sense of entitlement. You need to have these people in your organization have the sense of fulfillment and personal contribution. And leadership does give that edge in helping people to understand that they are doing something significant in organizations. Leadership gives them a sense of personal contribution and make them feel really worth and make them feel and direct them towards that purposeful things that the organization needs to achieve. So it is very important, I am concerned.
We understand leadership in general, but does leadership make any difference in business organization?
See, there are people who question, does really leadership work or is it something else? They try to undermine the importance of leadership. I tend to believe leadership does make difference wherever they are. Wherever there are people, leadership makes difference. In business or organization, ideas are one thing. That idea need to be taken into planning, and that planning is to be taken into execution, and in all of it, from idea to action, people are involved in, and in that, leadership is very important. So I don't think there is any organization can survive or succeed without a strong leadership, just not the one. There has to be a leadership at different levels throughout the organization. That is a must for me.
What difference does an effective leader makes in business organization?
Effective, good and great leaders, they are inspirational figures. They inspire people, they drive, energize, empower, they channelize individuals towards the common goals, the business objectives that they would like to achieve. If you take a two group of people, one, they are equally competent, one has a good leader and one doesn't have. And if you ask them to compete together, I believe definitely a group that has an effective leader going to come out as a winner. And that is the power of good leadership. In an organization where there is good people who can vision and plan and execute and enable people to perform and make the best use of the talent that is available in the organization, going to make a big difference.
Now that we have talked about what difference does a leadership makes in business organization, let me ask you, what is the best way to learn leadership?
There are many different ways. You can read a book, you can listen to a lecture, but then leadership has to be learned in group because leadership is an interpersonal dynamics. If you can't be in a group, you can't see how that leadership comes alive. And it more than just knowing, it is about how do you earn that experience of doing that really makes big deal in learning leadership. So my suggestion would anyone who is looking to learn leadership is to be in a group. And that is one of the reasons why practical experiences teach much more about leadership than listening to a lecture. So my suggestion would be to be part of something that is going to teach through experience, and listening and reading and all those things has its own place. but experiential learning is the best way to learn.
Sudagar, now TPMC has designed a leadership workshop. So what it is all about?
TPMC Leadership Effectiveness Workshop has a two specific agenda. Number one, it is a ground for facilitating transition of individual contributors to become leaders. It is going to give that hands-on experience to acquire skills and model behaviors that is going to give them that much needed experience to be good at leadership. Second objective is it is about sharpening the leadership skills. There are leaders at the different levels of the organization. They are very good in what they are doing, but their leadership has to be continually evolved with the things that are changing. There are new people are coming into the organization. There are people are going out and things are changing around us. So our leadership also has to be constantly developed and sharpened, and our leadership effectiveness has to be edged to strike strong. And it has to be continually aligned to an organization. So this workshop aims at that too, to give them the transition from individual contributor to an effective leader, and second, to give them the effectiveness, sharpening the skills and enabling them to look at themselves and become more effective. So these are the two things that we aim to achieve in Leadership Effectiveness Workshop.
Okay, Sudagar, there are so many people who have delivered excellent lectures on leadership. But here my question is, what makes TPMC Leadership Effectiveness Workshop a unique one?
TPMC Leadership Effectiveness Workshop is a unique, intense, a structured 3-day learning event where a participant and facilitator engage in a dynamic interpersonal process, a group process, to discover and see how leadership comes alive. So it not only gives them a very clear knowledge of what leadership is, but it gives them a hands-on experience in how to practice leadership effectively. To me, that is a uniqueness. So the strength of the workshop is facilitation. I'm the facilitator of the workshop, and I'm committed to help people understand what leadership is. And not only understand what leadership is, but also learn to do leadership effectively. That means to practice leadership effectively. So it is relevant for senior professionals. It's relevant for leaders at all levels in the organization. It is a must, in my opinion, for business owners, entrepreneurs, and a very good preparation ground for anyone who's aspiring to become leader. So to me, it is very effective. So if anyone listening out there, if you're a business owner, if you are an entrepreneur, if you are a practicing leader or a senior professional, I strongly recommend TPMC Leadership Effectiveness Workshop for your effectiveness.
Thank you, Mr. Sudagar Prabhu, for joining with me.
It's my pleasure.
Here is TPMC Leadership Workshop. They have a very sound methodology and strong content. So it is for you to know your leadership development needs. If you are looking for a way to become an effective leader, this could be the right one for you. I leave it up to you to make the right decision.